And now we're actually live.
And another award-winning first frame.
Yeah, we have those sometimes. So it's Tech Thursday, and I'm Nicole.
And I'm Cassie.
And I called this Tech Thursday the last hurrah because it's going to be our last episode.
Yes.
But in the description of this, Cassie, which you didn't see me write, I said, it's not goodbye, it's see you later, because we're going to figure out some other format, or maybe even this format again. But we understand that, we've been doing this about a year, and we thought we would take a look at what we were doing and survey our customers and our friends.
A montage of the ridiculous screenshots that we shared. Do it to like DLC's graduations.
Yeah, there's when YouTube takes, by the way, a random 3 frames of any video you make, like one of them is going to be really unflattering.
And when there's 2 of us, there's usually one where
one person looks awesome.
Yeah, there's like one where one person looks really bad, and then in the next one the other person looks really bad, and then there's usually one that's like, okay,
we both look kind of bad,
both look,
but
yeah.
When you're a YouTube partner, you get to pick your screenshot, which is why like some of the more pro people have like the better, like you're like, oh, how did they get their title in there or whatever, and it's because they're YouTube partners and they can pick their screenshots. So we're not the big time yet, but maybe someday. But I thought we could take this last episode and talk a little bit about what it's like being on video. So year one, we did. I used the word produced lightly. We did like some short-ish, so like under 5 minutes, produced videos about different topics that either people sent us in or we invented. Mostly that people sent us in, actually. Like either it was questions like a client had asked me, or like an idea,
I think there were a couple where I asked my dad, or I put it out to a bunch of people, and my dad was the one that responded.
Dads are good for that. But yeah, so, and then this last year, we've just tried this live video format because I think it was before Periscope came out, but I just kind of saw the live video thing as being like a really interesting way to talk to people, because not only are you like producing information, but also people can come in and join the conversation. We haven't had a ton of people watching. I'm not sure if it's the time of day potentially, or if it's the fact that I refuse to invite all of my friends every time we do this. It feels vaguely, like I'm annoying them since it is a weekly show. But yeah, so we thought, we've gotten some watchers, but we haven't gotten a ton. So we thought maybe there's a better way to reach people. So
we're going to take a step back and reevaluate.
Yeah.
But we thought we'd give you a proper goodbye first.
Right. So Cassie, you've done both a produced video and a unscripted figure outable video. What have you learned in this 2 years-ish of doing these videos?
I was actually like, I meant to block off time this morning to like
reflect.
Really, make them concoct a slightly thoughtful response. But then I was like, oh, we'll get.
Yeah, winging it's fun. That's a good screenshot.
Thank you. Bitch. Sorry. So I don't think I was actually in a video until my first month had been completed at Breaking Even. Yeah. I think I'd been doing camera and then doing some editing, and then I got from behind the camera. But I remember being pretty petrified, just because I tend to be like a people pleaser / perfectionist, and I was overwhelmed by how I would be perceived on camera. Also, I've watched home videos of myself, and it's pretty much exactly how I am now. Like when I saw the red light. So when we used to do the produced version, it was almost instantaneous. Like when the red light came on, I was just like, and it took a few tries. Like Nicole could do her session in like one take, and then I don't know if it was the knowledge that I had that safety net of we can just re-record or I can edit, but it was almost as if I didn't.
Or maybe when the red light came on, you're like, I have to be perfect now. Yeah. Versus here, it's like we're having a conversation, and if something isn't perfect, you just kind of have to move on and keep going.
Yeah, so
it's harder to fixate on it.
Yeah, my reference to the home video was it was a very similar, like me as a 5-year-old and me getting recorded.
Yeah, the red light.
Yeah, something about the red light I would instantly do, like deer in the headlights. and people would be like coaxing me and coaching me on the other side of the camera in both my childhood and my adult life. And it was something about when the camera came on, it was all wiped clean. And then my brother would kind of dance on the video. He didn't do it for Tech Thursday, but
I would have loved that.
That would have been really, that would have been amazing, actually.
Maybe whatever our next iteration of Tech Thursday is.
We'll just have Steven show up. He was a theater minor.
Nice.
And also in his life, he's a theater minor.
His life.
In
college and in life, he's a theater minor.
So yeah, I think there's a different vibe with producing. I loved editing because it was so much fun. It was weird the first week seeing myself on camera, and I was like, oh.
It does take some getting used to.
So yeah, once that went away, it was a lot more fun, and I had fun, especially with the Grinch one. I don't know why that was. That one was probably the most fun. Oh, and OGP. Oh man, OGP.
OGP, yeah.
That was like this time last year.
It's true. This time last year, we dropped a music video onto the internet, and
that was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but at the same time, like honestly, see, my thing is that I have ideas for songs like all the time, and I have like several songs that are mostly written but need some kind of musical accompaniment and or talent. And the good thing is with rapping, it's about saying stuff fast versus, and I'm not saying that, like, I'm saying good rappers have good voices, but I'm saying it's less of a requisite than like singing.
So it's something that like we could do here.
Yeah, that we would be able to get away with. So, so the OGP rap is something I had in me, and I will not tell you how many hours I spent practicing saying those words at that speed. But it was a lot. I would say I've spent 30 hours working on just being able to say those words that fast. But something I like about the live format and kind of what the live format has taught me is before this, I just done produced kind of stuff. When I worked at the newspaper, I was the weather girl. I don't know if I were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was the weather girl. And I had a friend who apparently was watching that I didn't know. He was a new friend, and we were talking about it. He's like, about 4 days into our friendship, he's like, you did those weather girl videos. And I said, yeah. And he's like, you were terrible. And I said, yeah, I'm sure I was, but you get comfortable and you get used to, what you're like on camera, and like just not caring is the big thing. If you just waited until you were perfect to do something, I think most of us would never do anything. So, and something about putting on video, I can count the number of times on one hand a client has agreed to go on video for anything. Something about the video format really intimidates people. And something the podcast has taught me is like the audio is less intimidating to people. Okay. There's something about being watched, I think, versus being listened to.
I could do pictures or audio, but for some reason the combination of visual and audio.
It's because you're maybe paying attention to both at once. You're maybe paying attention to your appearance, but you're also paying attention to what you say. And it's hard to do both those things, I guess, well.
Yeah.
It takes energy to do that. And
the live, there's just less pressure for me with the live. I don't know why. It might just be that attitude of like, this is just out there now and I can't really go back and fix it or worry about it. So
yeah,
I guess here it is.
Yeah. And it could be too that like, we haven't pushed this, like I said, super hard. We've mentioned to people that we were doing it, but there are definitely some of my friends who still don't know that we do this. And part of it might be because we've been a little shy about it. And I kept waiting to be like, okay, well, when we feel like it's really good and really solid, we'll kind of do a big push. But then it never quite felt like that.
Yeah.
I never felt that confident about it to be like, yes, if 100 people showed up right now and started watching this video, I think that would terrify me. And the look on Cassie's face basically summarizes my
feelings about this at all. What are you talking about?
Right.
That's the other thing. I'm really expressive on video. I feel like I've noticed in my editing.
It's like, true.
I didn't know my face did that ever.
Right. You do become hyper aware of these little things that you do, because you're not standing in front of a mirror all day looking at yourself interact with people that you just don't realize that you've been doing all this time.
This was like a Twilight Zone episode. Anyway.
That does sound like a Twilight Zone episode. Like where just like that you'd wake up and then you just keep seeing mirrors and but then you'd hear voices back, like there was somebody on the other side that you were interacting with, but like there was like a mirror between you and the world.
And it would be
And then the person
a
would go,
commentary on
how we think everyone's looking at us.
yeah, like kind of self-absorption and social interactions.
All right, hear that
Whoa.
hear that Twilight Zone. We just wrote you an episode just there.
I feel like all my social media pop culture references are either like really current or like from 30 or 40 years ago. Like
That's okay.
The 80s and 90s were lost on me, but I can dip into the 60s and 70s.
Well, the other
I think
thing,
it's because my parents like that.
Right. Yeah, stuff you watch with, and then, you know, also some of that stuff is really classic. I mean, we haven't had a lot of highly produced shows in a long time. I mean, we've switched to a more reality format as a culture.
Doctor
So,
Who.
right.
But
that's British.
Oh, right.
So,
come on,
it's British, and it's like from, I mean, it started in the 60s. True. So, we don't have a lot of shows like that anymore, which is why I think when we think back to like scripted shows, we think back 30 or 40 years, because that's when the heyday of the Gilligan's Island. But I will say the other thing about the live video thing is it helps. I'm not much of a verbal processor, or I never thought I was, until sometimes we're doing these videos and I'll say something and I'll be like, oh, that was interesting. So sometimes like I get an idea, or you say something and I'm like, oh, and it triggers me to like, and it's not quite, I would feel like we would do that in a normal conversation, but something about it being recorded.
It feels more organic this way. Whereas it felt kind of more, there was something stagier, I feel like, in our interaction when it was just the camera.
Right. Yeah, it's true. There is something that, you know, if someone is watching right now, which it looks like nobody is, but
we did have one viewer.
We did. But, you know, and maybe it's the 10 a.m. time slot on Thursdays, you know, or like I said, maybe it's a combination of, you know, people moving to other platforms like Periscope to do more of the live video stuff versus Google Plus. And maybe also it is our slight shyness of pushing this out there in a really aggressive way.
It could also be the length.
It's true. We have shot for a 20 to 30 minute length show here, and sometimes that feels long and sometimes that feels really short depending on the topic.
Yes.
So yeah. So we're going to be taking all this into account. We're working on a survey right now. It's going to go out with our email newsletter. So if you go to our website, breakingeveninc.com/newsletter, you can subscribe to our newsletter. It's a monthly thing.
You have 1 week.
It goes out
next Friday.
It goes out next Friday. So, you know, just subscribe. We put one article there that we don't put anywhere else. It doesn't go on the blog or anything. So, and we talk about events that we have coming up. But we'll have a link to the survey, and it's going to be a really short survey, like super short, like multiple choice questions, but also like a short answer section that's optional. So, you know, when sometimes people ask you to fill out surveys and you're like, oh, sure, I'll help you out. And you click on it and you're like, and you do like 20 questions and you're like, okay, that was kind of long. And then you click like submit, and then it goes to like a second page and it says like, you're 2% done. And you're just like, okay, I don't have like 45 minutes to devote to this survey.
I have bitten off more than I can chew.
Right. That's happened to me a couple of times because, you know, you want to help people out and you're like, sure, like, yeah, I appreciate feedback, but yeah, I'm not going to spend half an hour of my work time filling out your survey. So the survey is short, but I believe it will inform, you know, what we do next in terms of extra.
Yeah. Because I like being, you know, fun and whimsical, and so does Nicole.
Yeah.
And we want to do it in a way that's also helpful to you guys.
Yeah. And, you know, we've tried, you know, audiobook. We tried like, you know, ebook kind of format stuff. We've tried moving from a longer ebook format to like a checklist. So before you came here, we did like a Facebook ebook about basically like, you know, how to block people and all that stuff. And that came out like at the end of 2012, before all this stuff was really like universally known about. So it was like, okay, here's how you know, get rid of this, and here's how you get rid of that, and here's how you can like your Facebook life more. And then when you came, we did a website audit, which sometimes people ask me about. And we thought, oh, well, let's put together like a series of questions people can basically look at their website and online properties and go through and get a good idea of where they're at. And, you know, that I'm one of those ready, fire, aim people, but Cassie reminds me that sometimes it's putting the aim before the firing is a good idea. So I like this. So like, cause I'm like, oh, people will want this. Oh, okay. 6 people wanted that. Interesting.
Yeah. It's hard because, you know, we want to give stuff and we think some things are good ideas, but, you know, we're in it. You know, we're the ones kind of behind the scenes rolling our sleeves up and doing stuff that because that's our job. Whereas the people on the other end don't worry about it or don't think to worry about it because we're taking care of it.
Right.
So when we try to push it out to other people, they're like, they don't quite get it.
Yeah. And I think,
so it's an interesting.
So then is it, and then you think things like, is it the word audit? Does it make people think of tax collection? You know, is it
when you combine it with website? And this is probably why I sucked at marketing. So I'm like, website audit. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like if you told me like shoe collection audit, I'd be like, yeah.
And maybe the idea of an audit is maybe it's more attractive when someone else is doing it. Like if someone said like, Nicole, you need to audit your business, I'd be like, shoot me in the face now. But if someone was like, hey, I'll audit your business for $200 and give you a list of recommendations, I'd be like, have at my friend. So, you know, but anyway, so the idea though, Cassie was like, hey, we should do a survey. And I thought that was really good. So in the survey, we're going to ask you about formats you like. Do you like video? Do you like audio? Do you like, you know, I don't know. I basically tried to list every format I could think of in there. And then it's how frequently would you like it? And then what topics are you interested in? And then we have a little, like I said, optional short answer kind of section where you can kind of dive in and say, hey, I want to know how to use Periscope to get more donations for a nonprofit. Or, you know, you can get really specific in there if you want to, but then you don't really have to if you don't have a specific idea. We just appreciate an idea.
I would like you guys to do rap battles while explaining social media.
Oh my God, that would be fun.
If we produce like a rock opera, I could not pull that off in any way. I have no idea how to even go about that.
I'm picturing like, you know, those chain necklaces and there'd be a big P for Pinterest and then you could be Instagram and I could like.
Oh, you're back on rap battle.
I was thinking about rap battle. I don't know what a rock opera is, except for rock. Is Rocky Horror a rock opera? I guess I'm a little unfamiliar with the format.
My only reference is that the Repo Man genetic rock opera, which is on Netflix, which is pretty terrible, but I watched it anyway because it was Halloween.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know much about the genre besides this one example, but I'm picturing like steampunk, like kind of. And
yeah. Well, you know, I got home from book club last night and Derek was watching Tenacious D, which my whole life I thought was a movie. Like I thought it was like one movie that Netflix kept or that Amazon Prime kept recommending I watch. But I get there and so he's watching it and then it's like a show. And I was like, oh wait, there's another one? Because I thought it ended kind of weird for like a movie. I thought, oh, that's kind of a weird way to end a movie. And then
it was a weird movie.
And then it like auto plays, right? Because it's, you know, Amazon Prime. So it like starts playing the next. And I was like, there's another one. And see, I could write songs like that all day about the internet, but I don't have the guitar skills or Jack Black to add that extra layer.
Like my high school years, we would all sing each other. Everything was the Tenacious D reference.
Yeah. So maybe he wants to get more musical. We don't know, but we're open to the idea. We don't mind putting ourselves out there and looking a little silly. I mean, at least I don't.
No, I have OGP. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. That was really good.
I was so comfortable that day. I wore those snap pants all day. I got a lot of comments on my snap pants. Some of them were not appropriate, but
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, there's always gonna be someone who says something.
I was like, yeah, okay.
Come here. Come on, people. Come on, people.
There's so much more to this video than my snap pants.
Absolutely. But I think, like I said, video is the wave of the future, and I'm not opposed to doing more.
To go watch that video again.
What, OGP? Maybe in the blog post we can link the OGP video so people can get to it. We can do that. I think 300 people have watched it or something.
Nice.
I'm in this.
You're welcome. You're welcome, YouTube.
I'm in this online business group and someone was asking about Open Graph Protocol, and I just thought, okay, so here's like 500 people that are relatively serious, like they're business people, and I thought, oh, what the hell? So then I like linked it, and the guy was like, oh my God, thank you. That's all I needed. Like, I just needed to get what this was. Like, I didn't understand what it was.
Like the Sesame Street of the internet, but probably not that toned down.
R is for Reddit. Oh, that could be fun. That could be a fun little series. So yeah, so basically, you know, Cassie and I
We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that one. I have a lot of ideas. I'm kind of ADD about my ideas. I have an idea, and part of me thinks, okay, is this a good idea, or is this just like an idea?
This is just a thing I'm interested in and no one else cares about.
Right.
I have those a lot.
Yeah, I do too. And it's hard for me to assess what those are because, you know, normally I would just do it. But then, like I said, the ready, fire, aim is not necessarily the best way to run a business.
It'd be terrible barnacles. Because they rely on filtration. Sorry, I didn't.
I was like,
Nicole's like, explain yourself.
Barnacles, huh? Yeah.
Because you think it's easy, but there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Or maybe sponges would have been more appropriate. Because, you know, they have to filter things out, and we're just kind of like.
Basically, you're my filter. I'm like, hey, is this a stupid idea?
So together we would be an adequate sponge.
Right. I feel like we could filter each other. Because that's my thing, is sometimes I just need someone to tell me that my idea is kind of terrible. That's all. And I'm not like hurt by it because I'll have like 6 more ideas by lunchtime. Like it doesn't like put a crick in my plans like quite like it used to.
Yeah, I'm still at that stage where I'm better at it than I was before, but I'm still a little like, no.
I just feel like ideas and inspiration, like it's kind of like a muscle. Like the more you use it, the more you can do with it, the more powerful it is.
The Steve Carell thing. Is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah, it's true. Because like I said, you know, like I definitely have seen a difference in when you start, like you said, in making those donation form things that like unlocked something in terms of.
Yeah, when you just kind of get started, when you just kind of open yourself to whatever you're doing in the moment. So I was doing some Microsoft Paint stuff for donation forms, and it's amazing. Like, I didn't really realize this until a couple of days ago. As I was doing it, there was something kind of, I don't know if it was therapeutic, but I just had like a million different ideas. I'm like, yeah, 20 of them were terrible, and I didn't end up speaking them out loud or through email or anything. But there were a couple that I was like, okay, that's probably something.
Yeah. And I don't mind telling you if I don't think something's a good idea. If you ever just want someone to, you don't have to self-filter.
Some of them were pretty bad.
Okay. I'll
some of the ones
I'll just do that one.
Sorry, I'm playing.
No. So yeah, if y'all haven't noticed, Cassie got a haircut yesterday. I mean, I guess it wasn't today. So get used to that.
I still don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of want it out of my face at this point.
Yeah.
So
hear you. So.
I'm just gonna...
God. Well, I just want to say that I appreciate the tens of you that have watched Tech Thursday over the years. And, you know, I appreciate that these videos are going to live on after and people will watch them later. And maybe, you know, I got an email the other day from somebody who was like, hey, I know that you probably write stuff and sometimes feel like it's going out into the ether, but I want you to know this blog post you wrote like 2 years ago, I read it and it like really rocked my world. So thank you. And it was a blog post I had completely forgotten that I wrote. So maybe someone
like that.
Yeah. So having this body of work, might be a strong word, the word produced, out there, maybe it'll be helpful to somebody.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about trying out YouTube or doing a live video series, I think you should give it a shot. Like it's really not that bad.
It isn't.
And tell us about it. Just leave a comment and we'll go watch your videos.
Yeah.
And and like I said, join our newsletter and get to the survey. And I promise that whatever comes out of it, we'll do it because we're those people.
Yes. And we're pretty much.
And we're open. Yeah. We're fine with different formats and different, you know.
I was gonna say we're
producing them
different, but
yeah, it's true.
That was a self-filter moment that I didn't self-filter because I said it out loud.
And this is why live video works for us.
La, la, la.
Yeah.
So yeah, give us a shout and we will shout back because we are not the void.
Right. We're still on the
We're
internet.
We're tangible and we love people and we will talk back to you.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks for watching Tech Thursday. We appreciate it. And have a good rest of your week.
I was going to say see you next week.
I know. It's tough having a break.
Weird.